Well, hello guys and welcome back. So we're going to do a little different thing this time. We're going to do a meditation for Odin. So we're going to do the usual drill. You guys know the drill. Make sure you have your snack and your drink. It's good to rebalance after meditation. Make sure you're going to have all your distractions turned off. So your phone's going to be turned off. No video games going in the background, the TV's not going. Don't try to squeeze any meditation into a little tiny space like right before you run out the door. It's really not going to be super effective. You can always hold this video until a time that you can sit down and do it. No, you won't be disturbed. You're going to want a place where you can sit or lie down comfortably. And if you want to pause to get changed into comfortable clothes or get a snack, you can go ahead and do that now. Okay, so we're going to meditate with Odin, and we're going to begin the way we always do by drawing in one breath. You're going to go at your own pace and do what you can. So breathe in and breathe out. And as we're breathing out, we're letting all the tension go, and we're just kind of relaxing into our chair or bed. If you want, you can close your eyes, or you can just keep watching the video. You can also tab out and go to Pinterest or go do something else, I won't mind. But I'm going to close my eyes while I do this with you guys. And as we're going into meditation, we're just going to keep relaxing. And we're going to feel ourselves getting, a little sleepy and a little more relaxed. And we're just letting go of all the worries of the day. Just let them go. Let go all of your problems. They'll be there when we come back. You can let them go. And we're just going to relax into this meditation. Now, for this meditation, we want to go visit Odin. So, of course, we're going to go to a lovely wintry place. And if you're closing your eyes, we're going to close our eyes. And we're going to imagine being in a beautiful snowy woods. And there's tall, towering pine trees, and it's fragrant, and it's beautiful because there's snow everywhere, and we're crunching along in the snow, and you can just smell the pines, and it's a beautiful place. And as we walk along, crunching the snow under our feet, we can hear wolves howling in the distance, and they sound beautiful, and we feel relaxed and we feel really safe because we're going to meet Odin, and we want to feel relaxed and safe when we're approaching Odin. So as we walk along, we come up to the top of a hill and we look down below, and there's a huge lodge down below us, a huge wintry lodge. Maybe you're seeing a ski lodge or you're seeing a Viking lodge, but whatever you're seeing, it's huge, it's so big, it's beautiful. And we're going down the hill now, and two wolves run out to greet us, and they're happy, and they're jumping up on us, and they're putting their big old paws on us, and they're licking our face, and they're giving happy play bows and barks and greetings, and they're zooming around in the snow, and there are ravens flying overhead, and they seem to be playing tag, and they play with the wolves. And we can see as we're getting closer that there are men and women going in and out of the lodge, and it looks like they're getting ready for some kind of wintry holiday. So they're carrying in pine boughs and swags and wreaths, and there are people that are carrying all sorts of good things. And they greet us as we come in, and they make us feel welcome. And when we go in, there's this table, and they say, "Welcome, please help yourself." So if we want to help ourselves to a drink, or we want to help ourselves to something to eat, and anything we like will be on that table. There's all the good wintry stuff you can think of, cocoa and mead and cider and all sorts of drinks, but there's also our favorite foods too. They don't have to be wintry, but we can help ourselves to whatever we want. And now we're going to walk along the lodge, and we'll take our little treat with us. And as we're walking along the lodge, watching these people decorate and hang pine boughs and hang a giant wreath above the roaring fireplace, we notice that there's a man in charge of all this, and he's a very tall man, and he's wearing this dark blue cloak over his dark blue robes. And we're not sure who he is because he has this beautiful white flowing hair and this beautiful white flowing beard. And we're almost thinking he looks a lot like Father Christmas, so we're going closer to investigate. And as we're going closer, we're passing all these tables that are clearly ready for a huge feast. And we realize we're in a huge feasting hall, and we come up to the man, and he's talking with one of the people who's been decorating, and he's laughing, and he seems cheerful. And we say to him, we say, hello. And he says hello back to us, and we say, I'm looking for Odin. And he laughs, and he says, I'm Odin, for we are talking to Oski. This is the wish giver, the wish granter part of Odin that grants wishes. You can kind of think of him as akin to the Yule Father. If you think of Santa Claus, this is kind of the aspect of Odin we are dealing with. The one who at Yule is flying through the air and the one who brings the toys to children. This is the aspect of Odin we are working with. And he greets us and he gives us a hearty slap on the shoulder. And he says, welcome. And he sees we've taken food and drink, but he insists we take more. So, of course, he's going to stuff us to the gills because this is the part of the All-Father that is very happy to provide us with food and provide for our needs. So he takes us on a tour of the hall, and it's super relaxing to go with him. And, we're having drinks and food with him. And we're walking past all these beautifully decorated pine trees, and looking at all the pine swags and admiring all the people that are walking back and forth and doing all this wonderful busy activity. And you can tell that he's truly happy to be in the center of all this. And you ask Odin, you ask Oski if he'd like to use that name, or you can use Yule Father. You ask him about something you've been wanting in your life. Maybe as it's getting colder, you're starting to think of this wish you have. Maybe there's this item you want to have. No, it doesn't mean that we're going to magically get it, but you mention this item to him and he nods and he gives you a good reply. And you mention some things that you've wanted in your life and some things maybe you want to accomplish. And he nods and he listens. And you can just take a moment and, hear his advice. And then what you're going to do is Odin is being so friendly. He asks you if you would like to see where he makes all the toys. Because of course Santa Claus gets all the credit these days. But those of us that work with him know that Oski and the Yule Father are going to be the ones that are going to bring all the good pig and boys and girls and toys. So you say, of course, and he takes you in and he shows you this workshop. And there's all these classical wooden toys, but there's also all these modern toys. And you're amazed because they look just like anything you would go and buy in a store. And he nods and he says, it's important to replicate these things exactly. Exactly. So they look just like the thing that the child saw in the store, or saw in the catalog, or saw online. And it's just amazing because it's this vast hall filled with toys, and there's plush wolves and bears, and there's trains, and there's all sorts of game consoles and all these amazing things. And you're really surprised. And Odin smiles as he walks you through and he shows you all these things. And he says, really, sometimes I don't bring this kind of gift. Sometimes I bring a more important gift. So he takes you outside the hall, and you walk with him in the snow, and the wolves are walking with you, and the ravens are flying overhead. And he says, see this? And it's starting to snow, and it's beautiful, and you can smell the crisp, cold air, and you can see the beauty of nature around you. He says, I can never put this onto the back of Sleipnir into a bag to carry with me. And he says, there's so many more things that I bring sometimes instead of toys. And of course, if he's working with adults, if you are adult, he might be bringing you hope for the new year, or he may be bringing you courage, or he may be bringing you patience, or he may be bringing you ways to meet your goals, or the thing that you told him you wanted. He may, over the following days, bring you the wisdom to go ahead and get it, or to realize that sometimes the things we want are not necessarily the things we need. So, we are going to walk with Odin a little bit more as we're out in nature and we're enjoying ourselves. And we realize he's really not all that bad. And he laughs and he says, I know, but everybody thinks I'm big and scary because they look at the lower part and that's all they see. But he reminds you that he's a scholar, which means he loves to learn. He's a wanderer, which means he loves to travel the world. And he's a poet, which means he likes to write poetry. And in his time, and in our time too, they would write this poetry and they would sing it and they would have competitions. And he's a magician and a healer and all these wonderful things. And we remember that he is the father of Thor, one of the most awesome and popular gods. And also blood brother to Loki, our little resident mischief maker. So we enjoy our time with Odin walking through nature, and he walks us up to a fire. We go into a little wooded area, and there's a ring of stones, and there's a fire that's burning. And it's as if he had this all planned. And he sits down with us on these furs that are before the fire. And they're quite safe because there's the stones and there's the furs, and we're quite comfortable sitting down with Odin. And as we sit down with the All Father, we close our eyes and he asks us to meditate to the following music. Now, wasn't that a wonderful meditation to just kind of meditate and relax and get out of the world? And as we come back from the music, the All-Father smiles at us and he helps us rise to our feet. And he gives us a hug and a pat on the back and he tells us to remember that he'll always be there to help us. We only have to call on him. And so he walks us back through the hall. And as we're walking back through the toy hall and then the main hall, he picks up an ornament and he holds it in his hand. And maybe it's a little fox, maybe it's a little bear or a wolf, but it's whatever you're seeing in your mind. And he holds this up to you and he puts it in your hand. He very gently closes his hand around it and he says, I want you to have this to remember this visit. And anytime you're feeling sad or discouraged, or you want wisdom, or you want strength to carry on, I want you to call to me. Now you can do it anytime, day or night. Now, of course, since he can't hand you this beautiful thing through the screen, you can pick up anything in your room you like. You can even use the same thing that you have used for Loki if you like. It can be stone, a rock, anything. Anything at all. It just has to make sense to you. And you can pick it up and hold it in your hands now and close your eyes. And just to know that when you pick this up, you're going to have the love of the Yule Father with you. And he's going to lend you his wisdom and his strength and his courage. So you can go ahead and open your eyes. And if you haven't already eaten and gobbled them up all already, you can go ahead and have your snack and drink or go ahead and get a refill. And we hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you're going to sit up very gently. You've been lying down for a while. Make sure you tab back in before YouTube comes up with another channel and blurs you with an ad. And we really hope you guys have liked this. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.